Oh, I got some juicy news for you. Profit First app version 2.0 is here with an enhanced user experience and video guidance throughout. You can now be even more confident in your Profit First implementation. Plus, listeners who work with a certified Profit First professional get extra benefits. Check it out now at www.profitfirstapp.com.
Today, right here, right now, this is the moment that you will finally say,
I'm growing my accounting practice, and you're going to discover exactly how right here, right now,
on the Grow My Accounting Practice podcast.
Welcome to the show, everyone. This is Mike McAllowitz here. I'm joined in studio by the one and only
Liz Ford. I'm a guide here at Profit First Professionals.
Yeah, and you run designer days now, and
I'm sort of a big deal. I get to hang out with Mike McAllowitz, so
kind of our co-host for this show. Doing a lot of things, and you hang out with me. That's the downside of it. There's a downside to everything. I'm Mike McAllowitz. I'm the author of Profit First and some other business books. Got a brand new book coming out in January. Keep your eyes open. All the Money Habit, and it's about personal finances. And if you're a business owner, you've got to align your business finances with your personal finances and vice versa. The show you're listening to is called GMAP, Grow My Accounting Practice. This is a show where we teach you the step-by-step to doing exactly that. So welcome to accountants, bookkeepers, and coaches. And we're going to do it through a great guest interview. Jen Perez is joining us. She's the Spicy CEO strategist. We're talking about having those conversations, those bold conversations, and how to do it without shame or burnout. And we got GMAP Now tasks. The one task we do, you see results, and we have a tricky question for today, I think. Did I cover everything, Liz?
You did. But we are missing our friend Ron. He was out today. He had a little
healing.
He's healing his eyeballs. He's basically bionic, I think, is what's happening.
Yeah, he's had cataract surgery or oof.
Yeah, wear those sunglasses, people. Cover your eyeballs.
He's a young fella, yeah. Well, you know what? He has icy blue eyes, and people with lighter color eyes are more susceptible to stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I heard.
Yeah. And he never wears sunglasses. Like we talked about it a little while ago. Like he doesn't. I always wear sunglasses, and I asked my doctor. I was like, "Hey, my boss is my age and had to get cataract surgery." He goes, "Does he wear sunglasses?" I said, "No." He's like, "That's a big one, but the blue eyes is a huge thing, and then just genetics." But again, he's bionic. He can see. I think he means he has X-ray vision now.
Yeah, he was saying. He goes, "I wish I did this years ago."
I know, right? Don't we say that about everything?
Yeah, exactly.
I just wanted to mention we didn't mention this. I'm going to say it right now. This episode is brought to you by our friends at FlexPoint. Victor Lopez and his team. They are payment processing. Wonderful business, and they are super helpful with all of our members, and they love accounting and bookkeeping, and they want to streamline and increase your workflow. So if you're looking for a new payment processor and more, get flexpoint.com is where you should go.
During my youthful and overly masculine days of college, I used to flex and point.
The ladies love it. The ladies absolutely were like, cool.
Quick ladies love it thing. A friend of mine, his son he broke up with a girlfriend, getting back in the dating scene. He said, "Do you know anyone?" I said, "Well, my daughter knows some people. They live in the same community." So I said, "Send a couple pictures." He sends a shirtless picture.
Oh, no.
One holding a puppy dog, and another one where he's wearing a t-shirt that says "Good catch." I'm like, that's the worst 3 photos. I'm like, just give me a normal picture of the dude. Like, I don't need shirtless. And I don't think the recipients need shirtless.
Is that like his Bumble or Tinder profile?
No, it was the father doing this. I said, the father, I'm like, dude, the father was doing the flex point for his son. I'm like, that's the worst 3 photos to send. Then like a smiling photo, someone in a suit. Oh, wow. Like,
Nope.
Whatever.
There you go. Nice catch.
All right. Well, thanks to our sponsor. Thank you for you being here as a guest. Let's get right into it today. Yes. We have Jen Perez here, and we're going to be talking about those bold conversations that you need to have, how to do it without shame. Jen Perez is the Spicy CEO strategist. She's a certified PFP, and she's the author of 69 Ways Money is Like Sex.
What?
Hello. There couldn't be 70 ways. There couldn't be 68.
Nope.
How to be 69. She helps entrepreneurs simplify their finances, increase profit, and structure their businesses around the life they actually want without spreadsheets, without shame. and without burnout. With no further ado, Jen Perez, welcome to our show.
Oh my.
Oh my.
I
Oh
like the
my.
spicy intro.
It was spicy. Yeah, we found that for you for the spicy intro.
Amazing.
You know, some
So
interesting. Oh, I'm sorry. You go, Liz.
no, I was going to say one of the things I'm so excited about is Jen and I have worked together for years now. I was her original guide, and so watching her, I mean, we're going to be talking about transformation that she does for her clients, but watching her transformation, I mean, this is fun. I mean, she's always been great, but she's gotten a lot spicier since the beginning of this. So I'm very excited about this.
Well, tell us, Jen, what got you to spice it up so much?
So to be honest, a little backstory. When I went to college, I wanted to be an accountant. I couldn't get into the business school. Tried to figure out, well, what other path is there? Took all these classes. So I decided I want to be a sexologist. Left, right, left. So
Something you don't hear a lot. Let's be honest. I don't know any other sexologists.
But I did go to Indiana University where they do have the Kinsey Institute. And so when I that, I was like, ooh, I want to be the next Dr. Kinsey. Did not go that route. In fact, my early adult career was in hotels. But when I finally got my foot in the door in the accounting, I've just always been wanting to help people understand money. But I also am very interested and intrigued on sex topics. And I'm like, how can you marry the two without it being weird or attracting the wrong kind of person?
Mm.
And I just was talking to somebody one day, and I do a lot of networking. And I asked her, I said, I don't get it. Like, I'm doing all the right things. I'm sending referrals. I'm getting to know people, but people aren't coming to me for services. And I'm not really sure what's going on. She said, Jen, you're like seeing a gynecologist for the first time. I'm like, okay, well, there's a lot of emotion, right? You have fear when you go. You don't know what they're going to see behind closed doors. You don't know what they're going to say. It's the same thing. We get to see what's in their books. We get to see what's behind closed doors. So there's a lot of that emotion. You have to build that trust factor. And I've always been told I'm easy to talk to, but until you get to know me, you don't necessarily know that. And so I had to be creatively different than any other accountant. Yes, I'm outgoing, but there's several. I think a lot of PFPs are outgoing. And so, yes, I'm a PFP, but how many other PFPs are there? So I had to figure out, what is Jen Perez, the only one that does this, so that I'm the one that's known for it. And I went to a conference, learned on writing a book. I've learned it several times. But when I heard one of the speakers saying be creatively different, he told us, it was Scott McCain. He mentioned Taxi Terry story. And I was like, okay, if this isn't a sign, I just need to do it. And then I actually, at that time, was reading Mike's Get Different book too. So I was like, I just need to do it and jump all in. And at first it was 100 ways. And then, of course, well, why 100? Let's make it 69.
Right.
Yeah.
The best, yeah. Totally makes sense.
Yeah.
That was great.
Question about the title, and then I want to get into how our listeners can leverage this. When people hear that title, I am sure it renders judgment. Like, who are you? You're a pervert. Or like, oh, that's really novel. Or, oh, that's fun. But I'm sure is it fair? Do you get the spectrum of responses? And how do you manage the criticisms? How do you embrace the revelations?
So for one, it's not an erotica book. It is the subtitle is Spicy Insights for Streamlining Your Business Finances. So it is geared around that, but both money and sex are taboo topics that nobody talks about, but they should.
Right.
Yeah. I'm not saying go tell everybody, oh, I made this much money and I did it this many times. No, but you do need to have that communication with your partners, with your clients, right? You need to be open about those. You have to understand your numbers in business. And so I just did it in a fun way to where the book is laid out where every page has a way and then a paragraph or two about business finance and how they can take that information, whether it's, hey, you can do this one simple step in your business, or a story of maybe a mistake I've made that hopefully they don't make and have to go through the same thing.
I love it. There's a podcast I listen to called Death, Sex, and Money. 3 things we don't talk enough about. And so if you haven't gotten on her podcast, you might need to call Anna Sale because
Oh my God, what a fit.
Yeah, so great. And I love the idea of the analogy of the gynecologist because it is scary. everything. We've talked about this so long, right? Like standing in front of someone financially vulnerable and asking for help is huge. Being able to do things, be able to have this conversation with you, I think is amazing. What are some of the common analogies that you use in the book that would be sort of spicy and funny? And, you said did a lot of tips and stories. So give us one or two.
Yeah. So I'll give you three of them. It could be as simple as communication is key,
Mhm.
right? Kind of simple.
Yeah.
Yep.
To foreplay matters. You have to build up to it. You have to, right? You're not going to have financial success overnight.
Nice.
And or too much or too little can cause stress.
I love it. Can you go into the communication is key part? Because I think as far as our audience, right, accountants and bookkeeping firm owners, what are some of the ways that they can communicate more efficiently and effectively with their clients per the book?
Right. So I am a very transparent, vulnerable person. I will tell people I don't know if I don't have the answer. I'm very blunt. If they're doing something that I don't think aligns with the goals that we set in place, I will tell them that. Now, yes, ultimately they're the business owner, they make those decisions themselves, but I'm here to tell them what they should do financially based on what we put in place, what based on what their vision is, what their goals are in not just in business, but personally, because we want to run a business that supports the lifestyle that we want, not the other way around. So when you're communicating with your clients about your transparency, making sure you have legal agreements in place so it's very clear what is entailed with what you're providing, what's in the scope of work, right? And just having that clear, open communication, kind of like an open door policy with your clients. Just be open and flexible. I think nowadays people value more you being transparent with them than just kind of a black and white, this is the way it is.
Yep. Agreed.
I'm curious about the foreplay metaphor. What's the foreplay in money? I just don't see the connection.
So it kind of builds up to it. So you have to set a foundation. You can't just all of a sudden, I'm going to offer this service or I have bookkeeping for $500 a month. And then overnight, you're going to be making five figures, six figures a month. You have to build that foundation and eventually get to that pleasure, that success, that win. So it's creating that foundation. And part of that foundation is, well, do you have a budget?
Mm.
And when implementing profit first, that's part of that foundation. It's helping you get clarity around the numbers in your business. Well, now that you're clear, you also need a budget in place because, yes, you have your operating expense account, but within that, what is your budget? And there's so much more beyond it, but it's really setting that foundation.
I love it. One of the things that thinking about it doesn't happen overnight. It's not immediate. Is we're also looking at what success means, and so thinking about profitability and success and freedom and all of these things. How do you touch on those aspects? What does success mean to you, and throughout the book?
So for me personally, I I feel I actually had somebody ask me this the other day, and it was really interesting because she told me afterwards that I have a slight fear of success.
Mm.
Sure.
And what she had me do was tell me, okay, today is your most successful day ever. What does that look like? And when we went through it, I was still talking in the future, not present. I was hesitating. I wasn't quite clear on things. I was comparing to the past. Sometimes my mindset was still in the past of things because, to be honest, my long story short, my dad lost the home we grew up on, my childhood home, and I filed bankruptcy in 2013. Personally,
Mm.
those are the two huge events in my life that led me to want to learn more about money in general. So it's just something that success is different for everybody, and if you vision that day, then you have to have a plan on what it takes to get there. Success can be, I got a new client, right?
Mhm.
You're successful, you're moving forward. It just means something different. It means I have more time. I've leveraged other people so that I can spend more time with my family. And that's when I know I've been successful. It can mean something different to everybody, but knowing what that is, and that's why I dive deep into that with my clients on what that success looks like. What does their vision look like? so that at least whatever we're doing is aligning with that and we're heading in that direction.
That's great. Thank
It
you.
was funny. I was talking with, we had an event, Jen, and Yannick Silver was there. And he and I grabbed dinner afterwards. And he said, well, Mike, everyone's healing a wound. And that's actually what we need to contribute. So that bankruptcy you had, it looks like you're trying to heal this for other people, but you're doing it in such a unique way. Does everyone have that expression? Does everyone have like something they need to serve? But do you also think that everyone has their self-expression of that? Is this your backstory, Jen, is so interesting of your different interests, and you found a way to put it all in one neat package. Do we all have that?
I think so. I attended a mastermind with Marley Jackson, Scott Simpson, and um they taught me that no matter what it is that you do, even if it's things that might be boring to other people, what are your hobbies? What are you passionate about? And honestly, they're focusing on YouTube, right? Getting more content out there. But interacting that hobby or that passion in what you do can sometimes attract those people that have that same interest.
Yeah.
And so if you love mountain biking, for example, and and you're a bookkeeper, well, you could be on a bicycle riding bike and just educating at the same time. Or, hey, did you know if I mean I don't even know I'm not into mountain biking, so I don't know. But I have two little kids and I'm running a full-time couple businesses, to be honest. I didn't have time for a hobby. So I pulled Marley aside and I said, well, what if I used sex? Like, is that she's like, oh my gosh, you have to do that. So was getting some confirmation from an expert in marketing that that was okay. But I think we all have that. Hopefully we have some sort of passion in life. And it might not be related to, I mean, if you think about it, sex is not related to business. They're not related to most people's eyes. So finding what that passion is, and if you can integrate it in some way that kind of makes you different and helps you enjoy it more too. And so, yeah.
I love that. So it brings me back to that original kind of question is it's a polarizing title. Context, when I wrote The Toilet Paper Entrepreneur, I was on CNBC. There was a show called The Big Idea. They said, I'm sorry, Mike, we can't talk about your book. It's too offensive. The Toilet Paper Entrepreneur. So
hilarious.
That was no, 15
different
years,
times.
Yeah. 15 years ago. But how do you manage that? Like some people will be like, this is so inappropriate. And some people say, finally. How do you handle the naysayers first? I don't know if you faced it yet, but how do you handle them?
So a couple of things I've already come across. I went to, for example, a faith-based conference, and you just never know what people's beliefs are. And so I started talking about my book, and then I was like, wait, maybe I should get to know them first.
Yeah.
And then but I made some great connections and they're like excited about it coming out. And then I also spoke to some students. So it doesn't mean I can't talk about things. I told them my book is about streamlining your business finances. They have no clue the actual title of that. Now, whether it's they want me to come speak at their event or come work with me, if they're offended by that, honestly, I'm probably not the right fit.
Yeah, and you probably don't want them as a client.
Because I'm gonna be I'm bold, I'm transparent. I'm gonna be that's how I am as a person. So that's how I'm gonna be with you as a partner in your business.
Do you do this in other parts of your business using bold, spicy language? I want our listeners to step out of the comfort zone, stay in their comfort zone, but the generic comfort zone. So is there other ways you use techniques like this?
Uh to be honest, it's new for me in doing all of this because I've always thought of accounting being more of a professional thing to where, in fact, I used to be Jennifer Perez because Jennifer is my legal name. So professionally, I go by Jennifer, but my friends and family call me Jen.
You
And
went to Jen.
and so when I created this book, there's actually, I think, a Jennifer Perez that has written a business book. So I did have to be different, but it makes more sense because it's more laid back. It's more me. And it just gave me clarity on I want to be me and not feel like I'm faking myself or my business to align with my passion and who I am and not have to be somebody different.
And you call yourself this spicy CEO strategist. That's another way you reframed your brand.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you encourage your clients when you're working with them? Do you say, hey, listen, it's more than numbers. Like, how can you differentiate it? Do you see the opportunities for your clients when you're working with them?
Absolutely. So most of the time when people will work with a business consultant, they're very focused on top line revenue and on sales, on, let's get money in there. But you can make $1 million or $100,000 and still have the same profit. So while yes, we work on that, our focus is more on the profit side. And because of what Profit First did for me 6 years ago, that's why I decided to become a certified Profit First professional, because I knew that that was the method that I could use, no matter what it's called, to help teach them ways to grow their business and scale that. But I also teach them how to leverage their time, leverage other people, leverage their money, leverage debt to grow their business. So yes, I know debt is not always a good thing, but there are times when you invest in your company that makes sense. But bad debt is when you have, hey, I got to put on a credit card because I can't afford it. That's the debt we're trying to eradicate, right? And so it's something where it goes anywhere business, really. So it used to just be accounting and more advisory, but because of the 9+ years I've been in business and all the mistakes I've made, it became more of a general business consulting and strategy where finances are the foundation.
I love it. I have a question since we're talking about Profit First. You've done this now for five years. Have you been here for 5 years? 4
I
years?
started in 2019 and then I took a sabbatical in 2020
Oh, that's right.
and then I came back in
And then you came
2021.
back. Okay. So yeah, so five years. We've known each other for a while now.
Yes.
And so you've seen a lot, and you've implemented Profit First in group coaching and one-on-one coaching and courses, and you've done a lot of things. What do you see as some of the biggest mistakes that people are making when they're implementing Profit First, or when they're trying to maybe do it themselves, and even when they're trying to work with someone like you?
Yeah, so honestly, the mistake that I made was, when you read the book, first of all, when it says pause and go do it, actually go do it.
Nice.
I read the book in 2 whole days because I was on a road trip. And
Yeah.
then I decided, hey, guess what? I'm going to start doing the 5% profit right now. I didn't have 5% available to put into profit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
starting with those baby steps and looking at what you've been doing, don't just jump it, take those baby steps. And I know it says that in the book now that I've read it, I don't know how many times, but that first time I read it, that part did not click. And so I had to learn the hard way. Okay, we have to start with 1%, make baby steps to help us get to where our goals are.
That's great.
I'm curious, just back to the bold conversations. Do analogies help? Like you're making the analogy of sex to money and vice versa. When we have to have a difficult conversation or a conversation that can be a little spicy, do analogies help bridge those communications?
It does. In fact, when I first came up with this idea, I do a lot of networking. And it's a safe environment for me to test it. And they would be like, Jen, what are you doing? Or that's awesome. Well, the first time I used that gynecology analogy, everybody's phones went down, heads went up, like, what is she talking about? And ever since then, I've used quotes from my book, for example, and I get everybody's attention. I've also had it to where people, there was an event I went to, and you were supposed to find someone, tell them what project you're working on. I told them about the book. All of a sudden, she starts talking to me about things that honestly, she would probably never have even mentioned to me if she didn't know I wrote this book.
Yeah.
So,
So are you saying people are much more
Nice.
open and honest and integral?
yes, yes,
Nice.
They share more.
yes,
That's fascinating. So if you go with the spice first, the honesty, the boldness, it sounds like you're empowering them.
yeah.
Okay.
And they're
Yeah.
feeling more comfortable opening up to me. And sometimes it's not even about business finances. It could be relationship. I've had people come to me about spouse things, and I'm like, okay. And sometimes it's funny. I had someone recommend, you should probably start a side hustle as a sex coach, because you don't need a license. You can charge like $200 an hour for that. And people come talk to you about that anyway. So
Oh, that's funny.
yeah, it's
Hey,
just,
we're approaching our last minute or so here. Liz, do you have any final questions? I got one more if you don't, but
Oh no, go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah. So I'm just wondering how someone could find their own spice. So one of our listeners, do you have a suggestion or idea? You found it for yourself. How do they find their own?
I think when I mentioned earlier about finding what your hobby is, finding what sparks you. And to be honest, It's not your spouse, it's not your kids. Like, yes, those are good reasons, but something that excites you inside that's more personable,
Mhm.
that really lights a fire. What is that thing? And it could be more than one. But if you figure out what really drives you as an individual and then add that, I think that's just going to light you up. It's excited me. And to be honest, I have had depression my whole life. Last year was actually a really bad year for that for me. And it's because I started this book in September 24. And ever since then, it was just like blowing up because I just kept getting excited, excited, excited. And then I published, and it's just been amazing. It's opened up so many doors, but it's also that feeling. I've actually been told only 10% of people that want to write a book actually publish. I didn't realize it was that low of a statistic.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That is pretty true. That I hope, just like you listen to Profit First multiple times to find that 1% rule, I hope people listen to this podcast episode multiple times for that gold you just dropped at the very end. Express what's naturally inside you, and it's expressing itself through hobbies or other ways that are personal to you. Jen, thank you so much for joining us today. Before we let you go, where can our listeners get your brand new book? Where can they connect with you?
yes, so if they go to 69waysmoneyisLikeSex.com, that's where they can get the book. And then the website, if you want to come to me directly, thejenperez.com.
Fantastic. Well, those links in the show notes. Jen, thanks again
Yep.
for joining us today.
Thank you,
You guys.
Jen.
I
Good to
appreciate
see
it.
you.
Good seeing you guys.
Congrats.
All right, Liz, we got some work to do. We got to recap what we learned from Jen. We have to do the GMAT now task, but first, let's trip out with a trippy question.
Well, I screwed up my visual. Hold on one second.
Are you like a share? Like for the screen?
I don't know what I did. Can you see me up there still?
No,
I don't.
I see
Oh,
you.
there it is. I didn't screw it up. I just thought I did. All right. I do have a trippy question. It's a weird one, but sort of in the line of, getting spicy. If money were no object, what kind of party would you throw?
Oh, I know instantly. So why don't you go first, though?
Oh gosh, mine is going to be food. It's going to be a huge food party. So it would be probably some big fancy at a castle.
Like a smorgasbord, like
super fancy, gorgeous, like my own Michelin 5-star dinner party. So amazing chefs, amazing wine, amazing dinner, amazing everything. And something like, have you been to 90 Acres?
Yeah, yes.
Right?
Jersey,
something like that. Like that's what I'm picturing. Like all the people that came to my wedding that I love, or, even more now because there's more people. Something beautiful, big, beautiful, bold like that. Just big fat dinner party. With lots of dancing at the end. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, good. So that my party would be having a lot of dancing too. This is a picture of the party I'd host. I don't know if you can see people on the screen, but I'm going to show you a close up of one person, which is me. And there I am. It's a little video, dressed in a unicorn.
Oh boy!
With all these people partying out. Here's what I found. So I was at this event at MIT, nonetheless.
So fun.
Where the host said, everyone is going to be dressed as a unicorn in the next 30 minutes, and we're going to go party. And no is not an option. So everyone puts on these onesies. I'm like, I'm not going to, this sounds so stupid. Everyone else is doing. So I go, everyone gets a headset with that you can, there's a switch on the side. It'll change colors. It illuminates a different color based upon the switch you have. There's DJs for each color.
Oh.
And so some people are dancing out to one DJ while others, and so there's this huge dance party. When you take the headset off, it's a silent
dance party.
And then the host comes out with this huge bubble gun and starts blowing bubbles everywhere. It was amazing. I ended up meeting with him a week later. His name is Randy. Randy, that party was the most epic party I've ever been to. He's like, yeah. I said, why? He goes, because there's no comparison. He goes, when everyone's dressed like an idiot, you're all equals. And he goes, everyone gets the dance on. I was like, that's the answer, man. So next party, if I had unlimited money, but perhaps even just a little bit of money, everyone's dressing in the same outfit. And we're going to.
I love that. I mean, it has all my favorite elements. Costumes. Can I wear a wig under my thing? Because
no, everyone had to look the same. That was the key.
Fine. All right, then I'll have a wig
to.
Everyone a wig.
He said when everyone looks the same. And there were some people that are like really known names or operating known companies.
Yeah.
There's this fella who does not speak English as his native tongue, singing out to Saturday Night Fever with me, and we're both doing it. When I took my headset off, he's actually singing, so I put it back on quickly. in unicorn classes. I'm like, this guy is such a successful person and he's famous. And then
So
we're getting
fun.
jiggy with it. So it's kind of funny.
That's so fun. Yeah, that's a super party. I'm in. Game on.
And
Invite
it
me,
doesn't cost
please.
much. All right, let's talk about our takeaways from Jen.
Oh, okay.
May I go first in this case?
Of course. Yes, sir.
I love the analogies. And it was interesting because it triggered curiosity. Most people say, when it comes to money, you need to take small steps, baby steps. It's true. But when she said foreplay matters, I was like, I don't even get it. Like, I was so curious. So these analogies trigger curiosity. She said something and she said, like, in passing, I was like, that's so true. She was speaking, she said something and people put phones down, heads up. And I wrote phones down, heads up. When you engage people, that is the new indicator. We get so upset that people are listening on their phones. It means, or watching their phones when they're listening to you. It means they're not listening. They have given us the greatest gift. When that phone goes down, you're hitting something of relevance. It's a great measurement. So I thought that was really cool. And the last thing she shared is, you gotta find the true you inside. It's not in others, it's in you, and then express that. What was your takeaways?
It was around that. So I loved, she started with the fear of success and she moved into finding what excites you, and watching her light up talking about this, and how, she shared how she was feeling the last year or so, hugely impactful. And I had an aha breakthrough this morning with a member who we've been working a lot. She was having a lot of issues with family and stuff, and she was contemplating leaving here and shutting down the whole business, and we all know this horrible story. And so she's talking about something. She goes, hey, I had this weird idea this morning, where what happened is, she goes, I love race cars, I love drag racing. My husband and I, this is what we do on the weekends. Is that weird if I maybe think of niching in that? And I was like, no, that's exactly what I want you to do. So then we went around and we were looking at all of the strategic partnerships, all of the industries that businesses that surround that industry, watching her take these notes and be like, this is it. Why didn't I ever think about this before? Because it was too fun for her. And Jennifer said something too. Jen, I call her Jennifer. I have to get to Jen. She said, I always think of this world as being very professional and very businessy. And so to have this aha that she had of I'm going to spice it up. And this morning she's like, why can't I marry the fun thing that lights me up and lights my family up? I was so excited about it. So I love it. Just thanks, Jen. It was great.
It reminds me, I recently had an opportunity to go for a loop around a track with a professional race car driver.
Oh, fun. Yeah.
So I get in the car, the driver looks over, it's a female driver, but she has a helmet on and stuff. And I'm like, oh, it's nice to meet you. I said, do you compete professionally? She goes, yeah. What's your name? She goes, Logan Musaraka. I'm like, oh, okay. I look her up. She was formerly a professional model, professional dancer, and then chose that her real heart sung out to race cars. And she made the transition. Is now running on the circuit, which is
amazing.
Points to pursue your passion, which then speaks to another angle on this. And it's my GMAP Now task.
Great.
I got to give a little backstory. There's a lot of stories today.
I love this. So people like the stories, Michael.
People like stories. Prop First Professionals, we have a thing called Designer Days. It was a skeleton team, just me and you. Normally Ron and Billy Ann are there.
Yeah.
But it was an amazing event nonetheless. Liz, you were remarkable. But what was funny about that event was across the hallway was an event that was 10 times bigger. And it was, what was it?
Monster Eroticon.
Monster Erotica. And as we walk, I'm like, what is going on here? Here's the GMAP Now task. What you judge is your nudge. Write that down. Ooh. What you judge is your nudge. If you are judging, that means it's triggering something, and it's actually requiring exploration. So what you judge is your nudge. I was judging that. I was like, oh, and how I judge it is feigning humor, which is a form of judgment. Like, oh, who are they? And ha, ha, ha. And then I said, oh my gosh, I'm actively judging this. So the next thing I did is I walked over there to Bill Lidster, who's also judging it, and said, we're going to talk to these people. And got some pictures, talked to some of those people there. They were lovely. They were kind. They were supportive. They were inviting us. They said, hey, if you want more folks, come on over. We'd love to show you what we do and what we explore. It was an amazing experience. And that veil of, oh, they're different. Oh, they're weirdos went away. And I said, oh my gosh, they're human and embracing. I'm the different person. I'm the weirdo for not accepting that. So if you feel yourself judging, that is your nudging.
And just to piggyback on that, watching after you did that, everybody chilled out. I'm not gonna. I don't know if you've felt what people. They stopped, sort of like giggling and haha. They're like, "Oh right, they are real people."
They're real people. Yeah, they're
So
great.
to your point, like the veil came off, and everyone's like, "Oh right, they're just
sorry,
they just
they're human too.
like they write books too. They are all authors over there too, y'all.
Yeah.
Like we're not that special." So that was very cool. All right,
I guess out of here, Liz.
all right. Thank you. Well, thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Michael. Such a great episode. Thank you so much for sharing. If you are listening to this episode and want to know a little bit more about hanging out with people like Jennifer and spending some time really looking to find your wild, your weird, your spicy, go to profitfirstprofessionals.com. And in there, you'll have an opportunity to set up a discovery call with either Ron or myself to dive in a little bit more about what membership looks like and how you can increase profitability for your clients and find your spice. So profitfirstprofessionals.com. Thank you, everybody.
You guys.
Have a great day.